Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look at the future state of Guild Wars, because it has been pretty much confirmed that it is going to undergo some changes. So Guild Wars is coming back and in a slightly different form, it seems. That's going to be interesting. We were talking about this in our guild yesterday. So let's see what the message from the devs actually said. Right, it said, "Hello, adventurers. We know you have been waiting for information on Guild Wars. Fear not. Guild Wars is not being cancelled or removed. We have more details of what is exactly going on with Guild Wars below, as well as what's happening in the immediate future. When it was discovered during 7.3 development that there was an issue with running Guild Wars, we had to delay any future Guild Wars events. Every time we update the Gems of War servers, we have a series of tests that check for errors. Unfortunately, we have a few tests that like to misbehave if there are no future Guild Wars events. This is why you may have noticed the time of the upcoming Guild Wars event changing in-game. And it did change a lot. One minute it was coming in a few days and then it was gone again. Guild Wars was the very first event we ever implemented back in the 3.0 update of March 2017, as many players may know. Guild Wars has a few legacy issues that we haven't been able to solve, such as bracket promotion and demotion issues, the loss of score issues, and loss of defense team issues. These are all intrinsic in the way Guild Wars interacts with our database, MongoDB. They would require us to completely rewrite big chunks of the Guild Wars event. The most recent issue is that Guild Wars doesn't play nicely with the new PvP system. Right, so the first little bit of reading between the lines here for me is that basically Guild Wars is going to have something to do with the new PvP system. Whether that involves buffs or something like that, I don't know, but I hope they don't do that because it's just going to become a who's got the most buffs has a better chance to win thing. But that's just initial guess. But anyway, let's come back to that in a minute. Let's carry on with this message. This caused a discussion with the team about Guild Wars and how we could address all of these issues, as well as integrate the Guild Wars system into new PvP. While implementing some of the feedback we've received previously, the only real answer is to rewrite Guild Wars from the ground up, which is hence this big delay. With that in mind, we plan to take Guild Wars and rework the event into a new updated system. This new version of the event will be designed to work with the new PvP system, while also resolving the problems the current version has, as mentioned above. We have several new features coming in the new update and expand the PvP system, including a new event that has some similarities to Guild Wars and which players will be able to participate in and compete against other groups of players. This sounds like that Alliances, was it called, which was there a few weeks ago, now it's gone again. Alliances, allegiances. We want to hear players' thoughts about Guild Wars so we can include that feedback as we design the new Guild Wars. What did you love about Guild Wars? What new features would you like to see? And how often would you like Guild Wars to run? Our hope is to release the new Guild Wars later this year for you to enjoy, but we don't have an official date to share with you yet. So that sounds to me like it's some way off still, but let's read track on some of these things and do a little bit of reading between the lines, because to me it sounds like they're going to implement some of the PvP features into this. Don't know if it's to do with monoliths, but it sounds like it could be something like that, because otherwise why say some of these things here. The most recent issue is that Guild Wars doesn't play nicely with the new PvP system. This is the biggest clue for me, and the fact that that allegiances or alliances button that was there before, which is now gone for now, is yeah, I think that's something to do with it. But anyway, let's. There was one comment which was right at the top actually, which I quite liked. The idle one. What did you love about Guild Wars? And this is a true point. Like min-maxing point strategies in a competitive environment where the difference in placement is a few battles, and there's encouragement from guilds to try new team compositions to beat defensive problems, creating unique defensive teams that stopped opponents from winning. That is the fun part. And current Guild Wars misses both of these points as almost everyone runs doomed books with empowered troops on defense, therefore reducing the mode to both starting board luck and repetition with solved offensive teams. So that part is kind of good. Like get those empowered teams. The only ways to battle that is to either basically just go with your best attack team and rely on luck, which is not the idea, or you can try and counter that. You can try and bring in troops which swap around those colours or remove the colours that they want to transform. But yeah, it's I don't mind those kind of teams, but the trouble is, it's like as it says here, it's like so many people just run that same strategy. I mean, there's ways to defend it as well. You can make sure that troops at the top are entangled or whatever. So if they do reduce or make a load of skulls, it's not going to be as effective. But the point is still that so many teams just start with those book teams and empowered troops. So what new features would you like to see? Remove empowered troops. Don't agree with that one. Some sort of repetition deterrent where I don't get stuck playing Doom Book 6 days of the week. Yeah, I think the whole point of empowered troops is actually to help the offense because so many of the defending teams started with those empowered troops. I think the point of the empowered troops was also to give the attacking team a potential defense, like like a Bane of Mercy, for example, is a typical one. Troops have been coming into the game, which help solve the problems of these constant book teams. But it's up to the player to decide to use that. You can't just keep going with your favourite attack team and then complain when you lose to a book team because you didn't make any attempt to counter it. That's the whole point. It's like in a sports game. If you're playing a particular opponent who's got a particular strength, like in tennis, if they've got a monumental serve, you can't just play your normal game of standing right on the baseline hoping to return it. You have to counter that serve by standing further back, giving you a better chance of returning it. This is part and parcel of Guild Wars for me, so I'm not too bothered about that. So I don't agree with the removing empowered troops part. But I do agree with this bit. After battle detailed scoring would be nice. Scoring shouldn't be some weird secret society thing where most people have no idea how the game works, and some people sound like conspiracy theorists. But in actuality, you might be onto something. So yeah, that is true. The way I understand it is that the reason the devs don't give the full scoring right now is if they gave the full scoring, then they think they're going to get bombarded with tickets complaining about their score being wrong, which basically contain 99% incorrect maths. So it's like I get it from that, but all they got to do is ignore them tickets. Just say like Guild Wars scoring is accurate. This is how it's scored. 'Cause it would be nice to actually know. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't go into some competition where the point is to try and score the most points possible, and then basically be told, but we're not going to tell you how the points are scored. You kind of got to just work it out for yourself. That's a bit strange because some people do take it mega seriously. Like there's sort of three areas to Guild Wars. There's the guilds that take it super mega crazy serious, and it's kind of the only reason they play the game to a degree is to create a guild with everybody taking Guild Wars super seriously. There's them, and it's like I say, the main reason they play the game. There's people that really don't care if Guild Wars existed. They go to guilds in particular where Guild Wars is not a requirement. And then you get the people who are sort of in the middle that take it or leave it. I'm kind of somewhere between the serious and the middle bracket, really. I do enjoy it. It is one of my favourite game modes. I really like the idea of trying to stop the enemy team. I'm actually a bit of a masochist like this. Like, if I get a defense team, if somebody shows me if I get a defense team, this was more relevant when I was playing in bracket 2 for quite a while. That I look at and goes, and it makes me immediately think, Jesus, how the hell am I supposed to fight that? I love that situation because if you think about it hard enough, often you will find a way. So I do actually like this current system where we are restricted to a colour of the day. Some people think that it gives the defence an unfair advantage because they can pick whoever they want, but we're restricted to one colour. Again, I actually think this is an okay system. The advantage the defence has got is that they know which colour we're going to start with, and we have to start with the same colour troops and weapons to get the best score. The advantage we've got is we can see their team and then try and counter it maybe. Like I said a bit earlier, Guild Wars is not about just picking your favourite red, blue, green, whatever attack teams and just going for it against any given defence. You're going to come unstuck many ways like that. You may win quite a few battles, but absolutely you will lose some as well because the starting board may decide who wins the game, pure and simple. But anyway, that's getting on to Guild Wars in particular, but we're talking about Guild Wars here and how it's going to change. So it does look like they're going to somehow bring into play something to do with PvP, the current PvP system. I hope it's not buffs. I really do. Don't want to be forced to get a load of buffs to be competitive and things like that. You know, that'd be an absolute mistake. And if they'd done something like that, I honestly think there would be a mass exodus, not from just the game, but from not just from Guild Wars, but from the game in general, maybe, or just from Guild Wars. People, I don't think people would want to be made to think they got to be forced to buy buffs, but that's just speculation. That's just me just guessing. But yeah, these alliances and allegiances, whatever it was, that may come into it. But yeah, that's the first thoughts on this Guild Wars going forward, because the system is changing and it looks like it's definitely related somehow to the new PvP system, because that's what they were trying to implement it into. But there it is. There's a video. Let me know in the comments on this one, because this is going to be quite an interesting little topic between quite a few people, I think. So yeah, let me know what you think. And would you like to see Guild Wars come back as it is? Come back with changes? And if so, what will those changes be? For example, implemented into the PvP somehow? Buffs allowed, not allowed? Monolith buffs allowed, not allowed. Crikey, that would be a bit insane, wouldn't it, if they allowed that? That just would just make it almost not a skill game in a way. It'd be like who's got the most monoliths with most magic. You know, if you've got like 6 monoliths there with what, 6, 12, 8, 20, 36 magic boost or something, that completely changes everything. Or is that the idea so it makes newer players more competitive? I don't know, but I think they got to be really, really careful with this one, because it could be literally a make or break move regarding Guild Wars and how people play it. So anyway, there's a video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.